Hey guys, it's Shelby from Big Cat Creative, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to add your own browser icon, otherwise known as a favicon, to your Squarespace website. A browser icon, or a favicon, is this tiny little logo that displays next to your website or page name in the browser. For example, our little favicon here, or the Canva favicon, or any of these other icons next to the page or website name. This favicon is meant to be an extension of your brand identity. It helps to give your website more personality, allows visitors to differentiate your site between the other pages that they have pulled up in their browser, and it creates an extra level of cohesion that many people who are DIYing their website might miss. Now, if you don't upload a favicon to your Squarespace website, the platform is going to give you this default little black box icon, which, let's be honest, is not that cute. It's unoriginal, and you can spot this default icon from a mile away. Thankfully, Squarespace makes it super easy to add your own custom favicon. But before we walk through those steps, let's talk a little bit about how exactly you can get your own custom favicon. Like I said before, your browser icon is meant to be an extension of your brand identity. This means it's going to be super helpful to already have all of your branding elements designed prior to choosing your favicon. At the very least, you should have a mood board or a color palette to get you started, which you definitely should have if you are creating a website. Your browser icon can be a variation of your main logo. For example, the Canva favicon is the C taken from their larger Canva logo and just put into a little circle. It's just a little abbreviation, a little mark of their main logo. It can be a small brand mark or illustration. For example, on the Big Cat Creative website, we use these cute little stars that just fit with our other elements and are a part of our overall aesthetic. It can also be a letter or a shape or just anything that represents your brand and your business. The most important thing to keep in mind is that these icons are very tiny and you only see them up at the top of the browser. So whatever you choose, it should still be legible on a small scale. Squarespace also has some very specific specs when it comes to uploading a favicon to your website. They recommend that icons be in the PNG file format and between 100 by 100 pixels and 300 by 300 pixels. So it's even more important to make sure that you are getting the correct size for your browser icon so that you are actually able to upload it and have it be accepted by the Squarespace platform. One of the easiest ways to make sure that you have a beautiful favicon that is also the correct size is to use a favicon generator or a favicon converter, like the one that you can find on favicon.io. A platform like this is going to allow you to create a favicon that is the perfect uploading size with little to no work. You can use their converter to upload an existing logo or graphic, and what it's going to do is compress it down to a smaller size. It's also going to take whatever you upload and transform it into a square because that's the typical format for a favicon. So it's just something to keep in mind if you are uploading a logo or a graphic that is in landscape or is a little bit wider. The converter is going to slightly squish or compress your existing design. But if you have a design that is already a square or is a little bit more narrow, then this is super easy. All you have to do is drag your design into the little drag and drop file field and then click download. And it's going to download this zip file for you, which you can then open. And you'll see that it saves out a bunch of different compressed sizes of your design. Some of them are a lot smaller than others, but these are all going to be the perfect size to upload into Squarespace as your browser icon. Another tool that they offer is their favicon generator, and this is really great to use if you don't already have any existing logos or graphics to use. All you have to do for this generator is enter your text into the text field box here. You can enter a lowercase or uppercase letter. You can even enter an emoji if you'd like, which I will do by clicking Control Command Space on my keyboard and then choosing from any of these random emojis, and you'll see the preview right here. They recommend only including 1 to 2 letters in this text field, just to make sure that you can read what your favicon says. But you can also reduce the font size down here. So if you wanted to incorporate 3 letters or a super short word, You can go ahead and reduce the font size, but just again, keep in mind that your favicon is super small up here in the browser, so you don't want to write something super wordy that nobody's going to be able to read. You can then choose what the background of your favicon looks like. You can choose from a square, a circle, or rounded edges. You can change the font of your letters. And then over here, you can change the color of your font as well as the color of the background. And then once you're happy with how your favicon looks, you can go ahead and click download. And again, it is going to download this zip file and provide you with all of these various sizes of your browser icon. The final tool that Favicon.io offers is this emoji converter tool. You can choose from a list of all of these different emojis that they have. And when you find one that you like, you can click on it and it's going to turn that emoji into multiple different favicon sizes for you. And then again, you can go ahead and click on download a zip file with all of those different file sizes. So if you are someone who doesn't have a ton of existing branding materials, or you just want a really no fuss, easy way to get a lovely browser icon without doing a ton of design work, then a platform like Favicon.io is going to be great for you. Another great option for easily creating your own favicon is by using Canva, as they offer hundreds of free templates and pre-designed graphics that you can easily customize to fit your brand. If you are going to use Canva to design your browser icon, you'll want to start by creating your own custom-sized square artboard, which you can do by clicking on Create and then clicking on Custom Size down here in the bottom left. We recommend creating an artboard that is 100 by 100 pixels just to ensure that you are definitely 100% going to fit Squarespace's upload requirements. You can then click Create New Design and your artboard is going to open up in a new tab. Once you're in editing mode, you have a couple of different options. You can either take your existing logo and drag it into your artboard here, and then resize it to be as big as possible within that square artboard. This is a really great way to just use your existing logo or one of your existing design elements or illustrations as your browser icon without having to worry about it being too large, since most of the time your logos and design elements are high res and therefore way too big to upload as a favicon. Or if you'd rather create something using Canva's library of graphic elements, then you can go ahead and click into the Elements tab and then use the search bar up here at the top to search for something that matches the vibe of your brand. So for example, let's just search up flower. And then I'm going to click See All next to the graphics area to see all of their floral graphic elements. And then you can go ahead and just browse through until you find one that fits your brand aesthetic. Once you find a graphic that you like, you can go ahead and click it and it will automatically populate into your artboard over here on the right-hand side. You can then use this bar up here at the top to customize it further. You can click into the little color circles and customize the colors to fit your specific brand. And then the most important part will be resizing the graphic. You want to make sure to resize it to be as big as possible within your square artboard. The more white space that you have around your graphic, the smaller it's going to be when you finally download it. And like I mentioned before, your favicon is already super tiny up there in your browser tab. So you want to make sure that you are downloading something that's as large as possible so that you can definitely see it. And then once you're happy with your icon, you're going to want to download it as a PNG file with a transparent background. And if you have Canva Pro, you can go ahead and do this by clicking on Share and then Download. Make sure that you have PNG chosen in the file type drop-down menu, and then click the square next to transparent background. If you don't have Canva Pro, you can still download your icon as a PNG. You just won't be able to choose transparent background. And then when you're all set to go, just go ahead and click download. And you have a beautiful and custom favicon. And even though that can be super simple, we still totally understand that sometimes creating even the most simple design is out of the question. As small business owners, life can get in the way, and there's just not always going to be time in your day or energy left to give to sit down and crank out your own favicon. So for times like that, we actually have a library of over 150 free favicons that you can download and use however you'd like. You'll be able to find anything from various letters to shapes to little icons here that you can just go ahead and download and upload to your Squarespace website. Okay, now that you know exactly how you can create your own custom browser icon, let's go through the steps of actually adding that to your Squarespace website. So first things first, make sure that you are signed into your Squarespace site and then head over to the back end into your main menu. From here, go ahead and click the slash key on your keyboard, type in Favicon, and that's going to take you directly to the Favicon section of your settings. From here, in the first default window, you can go ahead and add your Favicon. You can click the plus icon to upload a file from your computer or to select something from your existing library, or you can go ahead and just drag and drop your icon directly into that window. And once it's uploaded, don't forget to click save so that it takes effect. It might take a little bit of time to show up in your browser, but once you've exited it out and refreshed your website a couple of times, you should see it right there. There's also an option to add a dark mode favicon, which is not something that's mandatory, but definitely something that you should know about and keep in mind. Dark mode just refers to the appearance settings that someone might have their computer or browser set to, and turning dark mode on makes everything darker, exactly how it sounds. So if I were to just change my appearance settings really quick to dark, you'll see that everything in my browser goes dark. So all of these favicons are going to now have to stand out on top of a darker background. You can see that for the most part, everything that I have opened up here looks really great on the dark background as well. However, that Squarespace default icon kind of disappears a little bit. So it's just something to keep in mind that if you have a favicon that is darker by nature, like this black box, or if you have a favicon that's really thin or delicate or just a little bit trickier to read, you're going to probably want to consider creating a dark mode appropriate version of your favicon. This can be as simple as just changing the color of it or making it a little bit bolder. You don't have to create something completely different. Just make some slight adjustments to make sure that it is legible regardless of how somebody is viewing their browser. But again, you don't have to upload anything here at all. So if you think that your favicon is going to be great no matter the color of the background, then you're good to go. All right, now if I exit out of my settings and refresh my page, you'll see that my favicon now shows up here in the top left of my browser. It looks so cute next to my business name, much cuter than that default Squarespace box. And now my tab and my favicon are going to stand out amongst all the other tabs that are open in anybody's browser. And that's all there is to it. It is honestly so easy to add your own custom browser icon in Squarespace. And they might be tiny, but they really can take a website from DIY to pro status and help give you the polished design that you've been craving. I hope this little tutorial was helpful. And if you want more videos like it, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We post Squarespace tutorials every week, and I'll see you in the next video.